June 12th, 2016. Omar Mateen walked into Gay Pulse nightclub and started shooting. That night, we lost so many beautiful people, like Amanda Alvier, who was just accepted into med school and was out celebrating with friends. That night, she lost her life. We say that society finally accepts us. We say that society finally lets us be who we are. We say that we can finally be broken from the stereotype, but I don't believe that. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges, people who are part of the LGBTQ plus community are tolerated and not accepted, and this is why it needs to change. High school can be a great time for most teenagers, minus the drama, of course, but it isn't the same for gay teens. For the first time in my life this year, I was called a faggot to my face, and it hurt. It felt like I wasn't a person anymore, like everything that made up who I was broken down, and the only thing that was left was one word, a derogatory term used against people that are like me. I thought I couldn't talk to anybody about it. I thought I couldn't do anything because I was the little gay kid who couldn't do anything, who had no strength. I didn't want to tell anyone, and I didn't even tell my parents until this day. The Trevor Project states that 90% versus the 62% of non-LGBT students have been harassed verbally and physically in the past year. Why is it that after all this time, we still have kids thinking that it's a good thing to kill themselves or leave school to avoid bullying because of their sexual orientation? The person who called me this was asked why he had chosen to say those words, and his answer was quite simple. He said, "It isn't my fault, it just came out." And to that I say, I hope that embarrassing yourself in front of everybody just to prove your masculinity was worth it. I'm sorry I said that, it just came out. Let's talk about gay pride. It started after there was a police raid on Stonewall Inn, and usually the bar would get tipped off when, there would be a raid, except that night it never happened. Police showed up and asked to see everybody's identification, only once when they weren't going fast enough, they took out their nightsticks and started swinging. A crowd formed outside, and someone was heard in the crowd saying, "When have you ever seen a fag fight back?" Tonight, this was changing. The next morning, crowds started forming in the streets, and slowly Pride became known as Gay Pride, and June became National Gay Month. This situation should have never happened. If you think about it for a second, we don't have straight month. We don't have a parade celebrating heterosexuality. That's because they are seen as normal. We shouldn't need a parade. We shouldn't need a place to feel safer in Montreal. We shouldn't need to be afraid to hold the person that we love in the middle at night just to be scared because there are people in the dark that could hurt us. Our history cannot be defined by 1 month. 30 days out of 365 aren't enough to explain what truly happened, and we shouldn't even have to explain it in the first place. If we were truly accepted, we wouldn't need to have coming outs. We wouldn't have parents disowning their children or throwing them out of their homes because of their sexual orientation. If we were accepted, we would be seen as normal and not different. As Shylock said in the play The Merchant of Venice, "If you cut us, do we not bleed?" We aren't close to an equal future. People are still using gay slangs every day. Parents are teaching their children to tolerate those around them instead of accepting. Every day you can hear someone describe something as being gay, or if one of their friends does something that isn't up to par with them, they'll be called a fag. I get that hate comes from not understanding, but then why don't we take a step towards understanding? I'm a person. My sexuality doesn't define who I am. I have thoughts, feelings, emotions, hopes, and dreams like every single person in this room. So why can't you just let us be? Why can't you just let us be who we are and try and see what we see? I have to live with the fact that I can still be refused a job if that person is homophobic. I have to live with the fact that someone will always have to say a comment about who I'm with. So people need to understand that we aren't different. We are just trying to survive in this world. It's time that we come to terms with the fact that it isn't equal. I would like to see the day where I can go outside and hold the hand of my boyfriend and be able to just walk around and not have someone say something about it. Is that too much to ask? We, as gay people, We as gay people live with you guys, and we tolerate you, but we don't just tolerate you, we accept you for who you are. So why can't you do the same for us? So why can't you just do the same thing for us? A lot of people have struggled with coming out because it's very hard, and because of the discussion, the things I've discussed before, it's hard to be yourself in this world now. As Lady Gaga said in her song Born This Way, no matter gay, straight, or bi, lesbian, transgendered lives, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to survive. I know that although we do have a really long way to go in terms of everybody being accepted, one day I'm sure that it will happen. I leave you with this. Coming out of the closet is something that a lot of people struggle with, but when we finally do, it feels so good. It feels like a weight has been taken off of our shoulders and we can finally be free. So why do you feel the need to put us back in one? Thank you.